I always knew I wanted to do something with either women or babies, so that kind of was the driver. But I left myself open, and then during clinicals, I kept going to each floor and was like, I'm not really interested. And then I saw a C-section. My mouth was like wide open under my mask, and I was like, yeah, this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
Like it just was really cool. And then just like the education aspect, and then also a lot of my papers I did in nursing school were about like Black maternal mortality. So I was interested in it from that perspective.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing else caught my eye to that degree as like labor and delivery did.
What's going on, y'all? This is Shanice, your host of the Bedside Report, and like always, I'm so excited. As you know, this is a platform for Black and brown nurses to come share their stories, their backgrounds, just things of that nature. And I'm excited because I got somebody new to the Bedside Report. We got Tayler, and she is, I'm not going to say the best, she said she's from Atlanta, okay? Which is, kind of a big deal because we are from Atlanta. I mean, I'm from Atlanta at this point, right? But anyway, I actually met her in LA, and I was like, oh man. When she told me she was a L&D nurse, labor and delivery, I was like, oh, you gotta come on the podcast. So she's officially our first L&D nurse to come grace us with her presence. So without further ado, I'll let her introduce herself. Of course, her name is Tayler. She'll tell you where she's from, where she went to nursing school, and why she chose the nursing path.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
So I'm Tayler, originally from Atlanta, all over the South, but I claim Atlanta. I went to nursing school at the University of Indianapolis, did an accelerated BSN program because I have my degree in marketing as well. And what made me choose nursing? Ooh, it's a loaded question.
Be here for it.
It was a little bit of Grey's Anatomy, and but mostly I wanted to pick a job where I could travel and do something I was passionate about and really help people at the end of the day.
Sure. Oh, that was such a good answer.
Thanks.
But so it's your second degree, and you did accelerated?
Yes.
Oh, God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I could not have done accelerated. So kudos to you, because even just on the regular path, like it was tough.
No.
So did you work?
I did. I worked at the Apple Store part-time. Yes, I did. But I honestly think it's harder to go full, the 4 years straight out of undergrad, just because you're so much younger typically doing that. I feel like I did it I was 27. So I was a little bit more focused. I understood the financial responsibility of it. But I feel like being 19 and learning that knowledge, that's tough too. So I think it's great anytime you can make it through.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nursing is so challenging. And I mean, like I said, I got it as my second degree as well. And I was working full time. I had a lot of responsibility as well. So it's just tough all the way around.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you did that.
Thanks.
Oh, cool. And you also went to, you said Indiana?
University of Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm thinking about something else. Indiana's the Hoosiers.
Yeah, that's
Y'all
a few hour and a half. We're the Greyhounds.
The Greyhounds.
Yeah, smaller school, much smaller.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh, I know what. No, I don't. But no. So you came over from marketing, right?
I did, yes.
And so you worked in that field for a little bit?
I did, yeah, straight out of school. So my first undergrad degree was from Xavier University of Louisiana. And so I got a job at a big brand company in Minnesota. So I went straight to Minnesota from New Orleans, a big culture shock. Did that for a little bit. Ooh, a time was had. But I did that for a little bit, ended up getting laid off, got another job at another big company out there, did that for another year, got laid off again, and I was like, all right, we gotta recalibrate.
Wow.
It were these big mass layoffs. It's just kind of what happens in corporate America often. So I decided to go home to Atlanta, tried to find a job for a year, and a little less than a year, and that's when I was binge watching Grey's, and I was season 12, and I was like, maybe I could get into medicine. And so I started looking up stories on YouTube. My grandma actually is a nurse, so
Really?
talked to her a little bit. And yeah, decided to make that jump. And I felt like it was a good, profession where I could still travel. I wouldn't have to live in Minnesota. No shade to Minnesota, because it brought me some of my best friends.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be able to live anywhere and still do something that I was like passionate about and could really help people. And so that's kind of what made me transition.
Okay. And it's crazy because I feel like I've heard several people say Grey's Anatomy has had an impact on nursing, them choosing nursing to some degree.
Yeah.
And, I think I've only watched maybe one episode.
Really? It's changed over the years. And I usually don't tell people. It's a little cringe because it's nothing like actual nursing. But it was a good intro. It made me intrigued, so I say it did its part.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So you mentioned your grandmother. She's a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she still is in nursing?
No, she's retired now. She still helps out, but she's done all types of nursing, and she did work in labor and delivery for a little bit too. Yeah.
Oh, girl, it's in your blood.
It is, and unfortunately, I went to nursing school during COVID, so she didn't get to come to my pinning ceremony, but we got to do something at the house, and it was really emotional and touching. So I'm glad she was able to be a part of my process.
Oh, that's so great! I know she's so proud of you.
She is.
Grandmas are special.
All right.
They really are. Now, I gotta know though, what made you choose labor and delivery? Was it because of her that you chose labor and delivery?
I always knew I wanted to do something with either women or babies, so that kind of was the driver. But I left myself open, and then during clinicals, I kept going to each floor and was like, I'm not really interested. And then I saw a C-section. My mouth was wide open under my mask, and I was like, yeah, this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
It just was really cool. And then just the education aspect, and then also a lot of my papers I did in nursing school were about Black maternal mortality. So I was interested in it from that perspective.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing else caught my eye to that degree as labor and delivery did. So.
Yeah. Girl. Oh, I remember my labor and delivery rotation. I actually, you know what? I'm trying to think. I enjoyed certain aspects of it. I really did. I think was it postpartum? What did we do? I can't remember. I do know me and one of my colleagues, a guy, he was from California. I'll never forget. We went in to watch a live birth.
Oh.
We went to watch a live birth, and I was like, okay. So we're standing. They have us stand back and watch. Mm-hmm. And so all the things are happening. Mm-hmm. And it's happening. And I'm like, oh. I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little weak in my knees. I really did. I felt a little weak, and I'm like, Nick, oh my gosh. I look at him, Nick is on the ground.
No.
He's red. He's he looks flushed. He's just
oh my gosh.
Poor dude. Because I'm I know if I felt the way, you was a dude in this room, were probably losing it. And then needless to say, they had to wheel. I said, Nick, if you're watching, what's going on? Coolest guy ever. Oh. But no, he was so embarrassed because they had to wheel him out of the room. Sorry, Nick, I just told all your business name. But I know you out there doing great things too. But yeah, they had to wheel him out the room. But no, that was quite the experience. I have never. Bringing life in is so beautiful, but it is something to see. Yeah.
It is.
So when you see you're kind of used to it though. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, it's kind of I won't say routine because each one is special, but it's not. It doesn't make me pass out. I will say that.
Yeah, I hope not. Tayler, you might have to rethink it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, good. So what is it like a typical day for a L&D nurse?
It's a mix of things. So there's so many aspects to L&D, which is why I really like it. There's the emergency room aspect of it for triage. So somebody's coming in, they might be in labor, about to deliver. There's the psych aspect of it. People who are just a little nervous, not sure what their symptoms mean. There's kind of more routine aspects of the inductions and getting them settled. This is the process and what we're going to do to get your labor going. And then there's I guess I said emergency, but also another emergency aspect for if something's going wrong with baby and we need to go back to the OR, so we have the surgery. So it really just differs each day, and there's a lot to it. But I guess a typical standard day would be getting your assignment, having 1 to 2 patients, and then just getting their labor to progress and watching their strips. I think that's another part that a lot of people don't know is that we're monitoring mom and baby. So a lot of times we're like focused on like how your baby's heartbeat looks the entire time we're at work. So we might, we'll take a bathroom break and be like, hey, can you watch my strip? And then you come back and you're right back on it. So we're always constantly monitoring. But that's like a real high level overview.
Yeah, that's always kind of made me nervous. Honestly, like, I don't know. I mean, you got a baby like that you're watching. It's just, I don't know what about it. It's just so nerve-wracking to me. I don't know.
I get it. I feel like labor is something you either hate or you love, for sure. But once you know what to do, I think it's less scary. It's just you always have one person that you're taking care of that you can't see and can't talk to. So that does make it.
I think that's what it is. You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta be able to see you, put my hands on you, like.
Exactly.
I think I just discovered it.
Yeah.
Why I can't. You definitely just hit the nail on the head. Yeah, because I think you gotta have some faith with that too.
For sure.
Like, like I can't see you. I mean, I see a heartbeat, but I can't touch you. Nah. But no, like I said, that's why I definitely wanted you here to, explain kind of what that's like, because there are so many avenues to take in nursing. Man. Like have you ever have all your assignments been L&D?
Yeah, for the most part I've done, and sometimes L&D involves doing postpartum, so doing couplet care like post-delivery, so I've done some assignments where I do that, and then antepartum also, but it's all still in that like perinatal world, but antepartum being before they deliver, a lot of times preterm, but yeah, all in the women's health space for the most part.
That is so cool, and that's what I was trying to think of earlier. It's like, what rotation? Because we did like antepartum for a certain amount of weeks, and then we did the postpartum. Yeah. I can't remember which one I like better. But I mean, they were both quite an experience. So, well, neat. Now, what would you say is your favorite part of being an L&D nurse?
Favorite part? I would say like really educating my patients. I love being able to like answer all their questions, give them like tips and tricks on how to make the experience better for them. I like when, they're a little like nervous and I get to like give them answers that help them calm down, and just because it's something that a lot of people are fearful of. There is a lot of birth trauma out there, so to be somebody that they can really trust, that they can ask questions to and not be worried about like sounding like, oh, they don't know what's going on. Like, I don't expect you to. So I really love that education aspect and just really bonding with my patients, because it's such a special and unique time. You don't get to redo it, so I really like being a part of their chapter in that way.
That's nice. Girl, you give such great answers. Y'all, I think that she cheated. Like, I sent her the question. She's been at home practicing these. No, but honestly, I think if you speak it from the heart, it may just come out that way. But no. Now, I want to say I saw you post something like you were at a church in LA or something like that. Yeah. Being a believer, like, what role does your faith play in you being a nurse? And the second question is like, do you take time to pray with your patients? So how has your faith shown up in what you do?
Yeah. Honestly, each day, like before I go to work, I try to remember to pray in the car, to ask God to like protect me and to be whatever I need to be for my patients, and that they also teach me something in return. So I feel like starting off the day like that is super important. Being in my right mind, because just the energy you bring is super important, and you never know what you're going to run into. So that's like the foundation of everything. And then the other thing I just like from the things I've learned through my faith is just like doing everything with excellence. Like, I don't do anything I wouldn't want someone to do to me or my family members. So, there's ways you can definitely slack off or cut corners. But I try to always like give them 110% and give my best. As far as praying with patients goes, if they ask me to, then I will. Or if they start bringing up things about faith, then we'll talk about things, or I'll tell them about my church. But I just usually don't want to start spewing Bible verses at them unless I felt like that was something they would be receptive to. because there's still like rules and stuff at the hospital. But I have prayed with patients, especially when there's like really just intense things going on. When they say they really want a vaginal birth and it's looking a little rough, I definitely have like prayed and had some really like touching moments that way. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Yeah, you said spewing Bible verses. You know what I found out with my patients though, like a lot of them know they will. I didn't realize, like, patients, they want you to. At least, but with my experience, and I mean, I worked like cardiac and oncology, but they really come in and I've learned so much from my patients, and I think when you're at these, you're in some real vulnerable spaces with these patients that we take care of, and it's just amazing to see the amount of faith they have. And sometimes I look at my patients like, wow, I wish like they're super encouraging to me. So no, I agree. Like I try to, I pray with them. I definitely, you don't ever force it on anybody. That's not how that goes. But for the most part, if anything, I feel like they've invited me most times. But wow.
Definitely.
All right. So what has been your biggest challenge in being an L&D nurse? Any stereotypes? Any kind of, what does that look like for you?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest challenges was just trusting in myself. I started at a small community hospital. I had a great foundation at my hospital. I was an intern there. I did my capstone there. So I really knew the people really well, and they really knew me. And then when I left to travel, it was a whole new world. People, didn't know you, different policies, different, just everything was different. And so I was a little afraid to like show what I knew. And then by that, people thought I didn't know what I was doing. And so that definitely played a part in some of my contracts. And so I had to learn how to, I won't say fake it till I make it, but like even just how I phrased a question. So I know how to take care of a patient with hypertension. But instead of going in and asking, well, what do you guys do? I would go in and say, hey, 160 over 110, this is typically a severe, how do you guys treat it? To show them that I know what I'm talking about. So really it was just rephrasing, because I already had like the skills and like the knowledge, but I just needed the confidence to back it up and just package it in the right way. So that took going through, so that took going through a really rough contract where I felt like everybody just kind of just assumed I didn't know. And it was a really negative feeling, and then went into my next contract, and it definitely reignited that spirit in me. So I would say, trusting myself, that was hard to learn. And then also being a Black L&D nurse, being able to like speak up for myself, acknowledging that like I could understand my patients. So sometimes you get report and the patient is so combative and they're so rude, and you have to learn not to take those things to heart and sometimes just find out on your own. And a lot of times it's a cultural thing.
Absolutely.
You might have been talking to them a little bit crazy, and if I heard you talking to me like that, I would be like, that's not the professionalism and care I would expect to hear from my nurse.
Right.
So I think being able to bridge that gap and like also explain to my coworkers like, hey, this is what that means. I think that's been a big thing for me too. And just being like, hey, like me being an African-American nurse is a benefit, especially when we're taking care of patients who look like me. There's just a bond and a relationship that they don't understand. And so it's making sure that they're still getting the correct care and that's not being used against them is one of the big things.
Wow. We're going to go to this next question in one moment, but something you said, I'm pretty much the same way. I don't, when somebody's like, oh, they're combative, and you already, in our minds, we're like, this is my advice to you guys, any new nurses, and even some seasoned ones who kind of need to maybe tweak some things with their care. That's how we're going to phrase it. No, really, I tend to, I don't listen to what somebody else's experience is. I mean, you really have to consider the source when somebody's telling you about a patient. So honestly, most times if somebody's telling me a patient's combative and I'm kind of looking at the whole picture, I just toss it away. Like, to me, those are the subjective things, right? And everybody's going to have a different experience. So you just never know. You could have, like she said, you could have been talking crazy to that patient. You ain't going to tell me that part.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You could have not rounded on there for 3 hours and they don't like you no more. I could just be real. Sometimes, I mean, we're dealing with people. And patients, I mean, they could be fickle. Like, they just whatever, right? So, anyway, with all that being said, kind of take it with a grain of salt. Go experience the patient for yourself. And just, just try not to pay too much attention to what our colleagues, take the parts that you need. Take the objective information, okay? You did this during your shift. What didn't get done? Okay, now it's my turn. Whatever, So, one thing you mentioned, and I was gonna lead into this with the next question is, being a black L&D nurse. Like I said, I think that is amazing. We definitely need representation in that space. Black maternal mortality is high. It's the highest amongst black women, right?
It is.
What have you seen that contributes to that? Why is that rate? Why is it the highest among black women?
I mean, I don't have a true set answer. I wish I knew the true cause. Just based on some of the research I've done and what I've seen, I feel like it's support and advocacy. I feel like not having that contributes to a lot of the issues. I always encourage anybody when I'm educating them, have somebody else there with you who knows what's going on. Not just somebody's gonna go along with anything your provider says. Somebody's gonna ask questions because providers make decisions based on a lot of things, and sometimes I'm not gonna say it might not be in your best interest, but there might be something else that works for you a little bit better. And so you might you need somebody to be able to help advocate for you when you're not feeling your best or might not be able to speak for yourself. I also feel like stress plays a big role into it. As black women, you're faced with a lot of outside stressors systemically, just the things you go through as a black woman day to day. So I feel like you're already kind of in this state of fight or flight all the time. And I mean, your baby feels that, your body feels that. And so I don't know all the scientific data behind it, but I feel like that definitely plays a part. It's a mix of those two things, and it just makes a really toxic environment. But yeah, I would go with that.
Okay. Yeah, I know the pair of patients are very grateful to have you. Just like I said, being a black L&D nurse and being able to speak up for them, and just you've seen so much, so you could probably tell them oh, you maybe need to do this or ask this, or because I know I do. I go, look, okay, we're gonna get you a pen and a paper, because I'm not sure about necessarily the flow of work for you, but you're typically 1 to 2, right?
Oh yeah, 1 to 1, depending on the hospital and the state.
Got it. But yeah, I mean, there may be times I know for me I may be with another patient, and then that's when your doctor pops in, and so you may need to, because I'm not there, ask these questions for yourself. Make sure you get all the information you need. But I could only imagine as a black woman giving birth, it's a lot to consider. You know what I mean? It's a lot to take in. Me, I would probably be so overstimulated. Seriously, I wouldn't know what to do. I really wouldn't. The most amount of babies you've delivered.
In one day or overall?
In one sitting.
Oh.
With triplets, quadruplets, sextuplets.
I've only done twins. That's the
really?
most. Yeah, that's it. I don't really want any more.
Really?
No, it's hard.
Okay, so look, if you, because you have to have a heart, you have to monitor 6 heartbeats if it was sextuplets. Exactly. I don't know why there's
so many. Yes, that's a lot. And the thing is, when you're monitoring, nobody's just sitting straight. So they're moving, they're turning. So if the baby falls off the monitor, you got to go in the room, adjust it, find where it is. So then there's 2, then there's 3. Yeah, it would just be a lot. So it's not.
Oh, do you get a lot of artifact?
Yes.
Because, like I said, and I know my patients, I'm what are they doing?
Yes. Really? Getting up, or they're unmedicated, they're bouncing on a ball. Yeah, you're in there a lot.
Now what?
They're so a lot of times they're not getting epidural and they want to go no pain medicine. Then they're doing a lot of holistic things. So they're bouncing on a big ball or doing stuff with a peanut ball or in a shower. So all of that is fun to monitor.
I bet. Okay, that's cool. So do you ever find yourself having to coach dads a lot?
Oh, yes, for sure. Especially at the end when we're like holding legs, because I'm like, I'm not gonna throw my back out. You're gonna come and get in here too. So so I show them how to do it, and I talk to them usually and set the tone ahead of time. And I find out like your story about your colleague, like, are you lightheaded? Like, does blood scare you? So we'll come up with a plan so that you either don't see or we'll have a chair for you so you don't pass out. But yeah, I have to give them some instruction and get them in the game sometimes.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they're really supportive. I've had a lot of good dads lately.
Oh, that's so dope. Have you ever had anybody pass out? Any dad?
I did, not during delivery, but during an epidural. He had told me like that he was on the fence, so I kind of had a chair already, and so, but he was already sitting in the chair, and he was like, I don't feel so good. Then he slumped, but I caught him luckily. So he was already sitting. That was helpful, and he knew himself. But I always tell them ahead of time, because most of the dads are like, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. I'm like, if you go down, you will be going to the ER and you will miss the delivery. So let's not do that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Huh. How many people are you typically allowed to have when you're birthing?
Post-COVID, most places don't have like a lot of rules. It's really how many people do you want to see all the goodness. So, but yeah, I've had like 5-6 people in a room before. Some people like their whole families in the room, but on average, I'd say 1 to 2. Like usually a partner and like their mom or something.
Okay. I don't know why in my mind I just see somebody with a camcorder or somebody delivering, and that really just made me because nobody has a camcorder. Everybody only got an iPhone. Like I don't know why. Maybe I watch too much TV. I don't know. Oh man. Okay. So, twins. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I actually have a lot of questions. So you can either do it with an epidural or not. Have you ever had a woman like who decided to like forego the epidural and was like, what in the world did I just?
Oh yes, all the time. A lot of people, you can kind of tell, I would say 70% of the time if they're gonna make it through without the epidural, because they've like planned, they've gone to classes, they're like mentally ready, they have the music and the oils, and they've trained for this, because it's really mental. According to them, I haven't done it, but there's a lot of people come in like, yeah, I don't want meds, like I don't take Tylenol or anything, because that's just like kind of how they are. And then they start feeling those contractions, and sometimes we augment, so we'll give you Pitocin, and that makes your contractions way stronger.
Well,
and so that's harder.
About
yeah.
That's about far as it goes.
Pitocin, yes.
Okay.
So that makes your contractions a lot more painful, and so then you think you're going to do it without it, and it becomes too much. So it's never any judgment. I'm always like prepared either way to support you with whatever your goals are, but if you hadn't done any work ahead of time, odds are it's not going to happen.
Wow. Now, has any of this affected you wanting to conceive?
Yes. Yes, it has. Because there's this thing called like nurse curse, and well, do y'all have that? Do y'all have nurse curse?
Never heard of it. Tell me more.
So we have nurse curse, and some people avoid it, but in general, like nurses have crazy delivery. So whenever I have a patient, I'm like, oh, you're in medicine, and like crazy stuff starts happening. We're like, oh, that tracks. So I feel like I'd probably get nurse curse a little bit, but yeah, it's not that I'm afraid of childbirth. It's more of like, oh, you gotta like take the baby home with you. Like at work, I just get to give it back.
That's hilarious.
But you gotta take it home.
That's yours, man.
Yeah, so that concept, we're still working through that. So
okay.
we're TBD. I was definitely like 5 kids like growing up, and now I'm like, a dog? No, so we'll see.
I ain't lie, I grew up thinking that too.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened, but I can imagine seeing a lot of births. I was like, I gotta ask her that.
Yeah.
'Cause you see a lot.
You do, and I think it also makes me want to like definitely choose my team for sure, because I've seen like some great doctors or people I'm like, oh, I want you, because if anything went crazy, like I trust in like your decisions, like your capability. Then I've seen some places where like if you got a C-section, like I know your scar is gonna look real bad because that doctor did not care, and so So that makes me want to just be real particular about the people that you choose to be your providers for sure.
Wow. Overall, though, you feel like you work with some great doctors who genuinely care?
Oh yeah, for sure. I've gotten to work at like a lot of different hospitals, some with residents and then some with just like doctors who work there, practicing doctors. And I feel like 9 times out of 10, I've worked with some really great people. I think it really does depend on like their demeanor, but also like the hospital system and are they like supportive? Are there like resources for them? But in general, most people really like want you to succeed. Most providers and like I would say the staff as well are not just trying to like do C-sections and get you out of there. If anything, you have to stay at the hospital longer. So we don't want you to stay any longer. We want you to get in, get out. But I think in general, most people care. Just sometimes there's other factors that make things go in the wrong direction. But overall, it goes well.
So you work with some Heathcliff Huxtables? You know who that is.
From Cosby, yeah, from the Cosby Show.
Babies.
I didn't realize he was an OB.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about. I haven't watched the show in so long.
Really?
Wow. Yeah. I have.
Rest in peace, Malcolm Jamal Warren. I gotta throw that in there.
Yeah.
That's like super sad. But no, he delivered babies.
I forgot about that.
And he was like always on call. Seemed like every show.
Wow. Yeah, that is crazy.
She's gonna go home and watch this.
I was like, oh yeah, because I honestly I don't work with a lot of male, like especially black male doctors, but I did at my very first hospital, and he was literally the best. That would be the person I'd be like, I want to go to you. Like he was just so many emergencies, and I was a new grad too, so I was learning, and he was so nice and kind, and sometimes people can not be nice and kind. So yeah.
Oh man, yeah, doctors. Be kind. Health professionals all together, guys.
Yeah.
Because at some point in time you were new and you were learning. So yeah, just be kind. Oh man. Well yeah. Well you should definitely still consider keep have babies. Don't let it hurt you.
We'll see. We're gonna pray on that one.
I got you. Another thing I know in a lot of mothers, don't they have, what is it called?
You're talking about disease process?
What is it called? No, pre-eclampsia, right?
Yeah. That is really common. And pretty much every hospital has like a protocol to like take care of it or I guess not take care of it. Usually delivery is the best option, but we have different ways to manage it because it is really serious and it can affect anybody at any point. So
yeah, honestly, I had a lady, and I don't know why they got this. I don't know if my brain and blocked out. It wasn't like a traumatic rotation. Yeah, I remember a lady. She had preeclampsia. I think they had her on bed rest. She literally could not do anything.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Is that? I mean, I know you said the protocol is different everywhere, but that's about right. Like you.
I mean, I'd have to know what else was going on, but sometimes we'll give you magnesium, and that can make you really like loopy. And some places will make you get like a Foley bag, so then you're not really getting up as much. But bed rest is a little intense. I wonder if there were some other things going on.
Oh, and I think because I think what is it? The babies were maybe 27 weeks.
Oh,
like,
okay. She was preterm.
It was complex.
Yeah, I was like
high risk. That's what I was high risk.
Okay, gotcha.
It's all coming back. Yeah, I was on like a high risk OB.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's why. Okay. Oh yeah, it's coming back. Oh yeah. And then if you get magnesium, don't you have to like check their reflexes and stuff? Isn't that?
With the little. So I learned how to. My hospital didn't have hammers, so we were with the hand karate chop or like the back of the stethoscope. But yes, you have to check the reflexes.
I told you, I paid attention a little bit.
You did. I was like, okay, knowledge.
And well, we give magnesium, obviously, in cardiac, where our heart failure patients, because they're being diuresed and all of that.
Okay.
Oh, do you see I've taken care of quite a few women who've given birth and gone into, what is it called, heart failure.
Oh, wow.
That doesn't mean they probably didn't have some kind of underlying, maybe. But I think most of them said they did not. And I don't know if it's just from the stress of the heart over time.
Wow.
Being pregnant. Yeah.
It's like we've had people with like just different congenital things and like cardiac might follow them, but not a ton. But I always say like, not to scare people, but pregnancy is like the closest you like purposefully get to death. Like you're putting your body through some intense stuff. So I'm just like, I'm not surprised, but.
Yeah, pregnancy seems really, really intense.
But it's beautiful. It's beautiful too.
Yeah. So, not to scare anybody. It's beautiful. Yeah. Oh, but, y'all, we're gonna play this next game just to that. But I gotta know. So, have you? I did experience having like a patient lose a child. Have you? What has that been like? Have you witnessed that a lot?
Yeah, actually, my very first day as a nurse, that was my assignment.
Really?
I was being oriented, luckily. But yeah, that was really tough. And it really taught me about managing my own emotions and being able to like show up for my patient. And that's when I really was like, oh, this is kind of why nursing can be hard, because you got to put aside all your feelings and you're sad and be like, how can I help the patient? You got to think ahead about a lot of the things that you're saying. Because there's certain standard things that you would always say, or like even the congratulations, you have to reel that back in. But yeah, it is tough, and sometimes you're making a lot of decisions for that patient because they're not, mentally able to. So a lot of things we do might be like take pictures and do like footprints of the baby if the baby's like big enough, and they might not want it in the moment, but we keep them for them so that like later they can access it. There's like some special like equipment that we use to keep the baby basically cold so that they can like have the baby in the room with them as long as they want. So there's a lot that like goes into it outside of the emotional part as well. And that's really tough, but it's still like, I still feel good about being able to help those people because that is such a tough time. And try to just be encouragement, be a light, and make sure they don't have to think about anything extra outside of what they're going through in the moment. But that is a really sad part. And I always say, like, when people say, do you like labor? And I'm like, yeah, like most times people are coming here and they're excited to be at the hospital. But those are the times when people aren't, and that's tough.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, I've experienced that. I think I went to the morgue after. That was a tough day. I'm like,
Yeah.
But I think ultimately with nursing, I mean that's an aspect of what we do. You know, whether it's L&D or it's dealing with adults or the peds, whatever. Like we take care of people, but there are some instances where we deal with a lot of death. So, wow. Well, kudos to you.
No thanks.
Pretty dope. What piece of advice would you give to anyone considering labor and delivery?
For anybody considering it, I would say number one, don't let anybody deter you and tell you have to do something else first. I feel like that was the message I got a lot, was you need to go to med surg first, and if that's your passion, you want to do it, I think go for it. But for me, I knew I wanted to go straight into labor and delivery, and I was willing to go anywhere to make that happen. So I would say just be strong in your conviction and know that you have the skills to do it. Know that you're not going to lose all your skills. I think people say that a lot about going into specialties, like, oh, you won't be able to do everything. And it's like, well, I don't know how to change a central line, but if I really needed to, I could find the resources to make it happen. You can always learn. Again, it's a field where you're constantly learning. So I would say, yeah, stay true to it. Make sure that you're not deterred by other people's opinions about the field. And I would say to shadow as much as you can, or talk to other people in the field, just to find out what you need to do to get in. I feel like you can make it through nursing school, and you're competent. Like, you can make it happen. It is a challenging field, but I feel like you can learn how to do it. You're not going to know everything in the first 3 months. I mean, even after the first year, it was still like a little rocky, but yeah, I would say just go for it, be confident in yourself, and like make the right connections, because it's all about who you know as well. I feel like it's also a specialty that's gate kept, where people try to keep their friends in, or people who they think is a good fit for the unit. And so you are a good fit for the unit. The unit needs you. Your patients need you. So don't let that deter you either.
I'm so glad you said that, because like I said, I recently just had the conversation with my friend who was actually on the podcast, and she's in ICU. So it's kind of that same conversation of like, there's a lot of gatekeeping in nursing, and these are spaces that we need to occupy. Okay, and like you said, our patients do need us. Especially Black patients, and I'll say it a million times, they need to see our faces. They need to know, they have somebody there who looks like them, who can speak their language. You know what I mean? Like, it's imperative, because ultimately it can come down to life or death. But no, please stop the gatekeeping, y'all. If you're a gatekeeper, this for you. But no, because I think I think overall, you know, as a profession, that's a selfish move.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have people who only look like you. Our profession needs to represent the population that we take care of, which is multicultural.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I won't get too deep on that soapbox because it's really my thing. But I'm serious because it comes down to our patients, and it just needs to be reflective of that. But needless to say, do you believe in mentorship? Are you a mentor?
Um, I don't have an official like mentee. Yes, I do believe in mentorship though. I've been in this most recently in a per diem like float role,
Yeah.
so I don't see the same people a lot. But every blue moon I would get like a nursing student or something, and so I love having like be it like a sounding board, be a referral, whatever you need. Like I'm down for it. So yes.
I only answer that question because I kind of said a trap because right now I'm recruiting for mentors in our mentorship program.
Oh yeah.
Because I believe it's needed, and like you said, I don't want anybody to get caught up in thinking that they only have to do med surge because that is the messaging a lot of times for us is go do med surge. No, if you want to specialize, specialize. I started out in cardiac. I thank God for that. Cardiac step down. I saw so much. And I was at a major, teaching institution. So I specialize. Absolutely. But with that being said, no, she is going to be one of our mentors. So get to know her face, okay? So she can mentor individuals who are looking to be in L&D. And I think that is the best way we can do for, one of the best things we can do for our profession and really pouring back into it. And, I know me, like my mentors played a tremendous role in my success. So I think it's just kind of how we give back to it. So you'll see Tayler again, okay?
Yes.
and she just moved to Houston.
Yes.
All nurses, we moving to Houston.
We really are.
We really are. No, we really are. So yeah, if y'all looking for the next best place to be, Houston, Texas is the place to be. All right. We both used to live in Atlanta. I wouldn't be surprised if we were there around the same time. But yeah, we're in Houston, so come join us. There was another thing I was gonna mention, but like I told you, I didn't take my omega-3, so I'm a little forgetful. Oh, we actually did talk about that mentorship. And I kind of touched on this. Representation is, do you feel like we've been properly represented, even in media and society?
As black nurses?
As black nurses.
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah, I was like, I know a TikToker or two. No, not at all. I think we definitely, they don't know that we're there, that we're even in the field. And a lot of us, I mean, it is kind of a small world. I traveled all over California for like 15 months, and a lot of us know all the same people. Like the travelers, we all run into each other. I've done contracts in the Bay and then met them again in LA, and then they live here. It's just so many connections. So it's a small world, and it needs to expand, and I don't want to gatekeep it at all. So if you're interested, you should go for it, and feel free to reach out.
Yeah. With that being said, give them your, how can they find you online?
Yeah, on Insta, I'm at Tayler, of course, Tayler with an E. And then I'm on like LinkedIn, same spelling with Tayler with an E. Or I'm sure my info will be under here, so.
Yeah. You gotta find it. Yeah. Again, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to come chat with us here at the Bedside Report. Follow her on Instagram. We'll make sure we supply her her handle for Instagram. Also, if you are looking for mentorship, please stay tuned. We'll have that information available. We got a new mentor on the team. I'm super excited about that. So, guys, stay tuned. Thanks again for tuning in. And until next time, love y'all.